All right, thanks for joining us this noon for this noon show. I'm Felicia Lawrence here with meteorologist Rob Ellis on yet another bitterly cold day. I was going to say thanks for joining us this new year. It's still the new year, right?
No, it is.
I get a 4-week pass on that, right?
It feels like since the winter storm, it's been several weeks, right? I mean, it keeps going. You and I were both kind of joking with each other that we're kind of over the cold.
It should be. Look, can we wrap this up?
I know. Look, you've got a few more days. You've got several more days. It is going to stay cold. That hasn't changed. We know that it's going to be cold, but let me talk some numbers, and then eventually, yes, we will talk about warming the temperatures up. We're going to get there. I know it's still in the single digits, though. 8 right now is the current temperature in Carmel, at the airport, 10 at Eagle Creek. There's some other 10s showing up on the board, Crawfordsville and Lafayette. But of course, the feels like temperature, because there is a little bit of a breeze, makes it feel so much colder. And all of these values, with a couple of minor exceptions here, are feeling like we are below zero. And I anticipate that that will likely continue for the foreseeable future, at least through tonight and into tomorrow. And we've got maybe 3 or 4 more days of bitterly cold temperatures before that will start to ease just a little bit. So if you're looking at your forecast for the next few hours, it is going to warm up a little bit. And to be honest, when the temperatures are this cold, even the teens, mid to upper teens, could feel nice by the afternoon. And of course, the sunshine always helps. There are some high thin clouds out there. Winds are out of the west. Of course, that's making it feel just a little bit colder. Temperatures overnight will drop down yet again below zero, 4 below, although there may be some light winds out of the south and west that keep the temperatures a little bit mild. So we don't have the extreme cold warnings that are in place. We just have a cold advisory. A little bit of improvement there, but not a whole lot. Also want to mention this. On the west side of the city, still have this issue with an overturned tractor trailer on 465 northbound. This is right at Rockville Road. We've been watching this for a while. This is an image from about 45 minutes ago, but you can see that tractor trailer on its side. They are righting that and moving it out of the way as we speak. Felicia?
All right, thanks so much. We'll get back to you with weather in just a little bit. Happening right now, the second of 5 suspects charged in the shooting of a Tippecanoe County judge are in the courtroom. Thomas Moss was first on the docket. His first appearance wrapped about an hour ago, and a judge set his bond at $3 million cash and $2 million surety. Moss will be held in heightened security. His jury trial is set for May 6th, and now Blake Smith is making his initial appearance. And you were looking at video of the judge there yesterday, and just yesterday, investigators released body cam video of the arrest of 3 of the suspects: Thomas Moss, Raylan Ferguson, and Blake Smith. Judge Steve Meyer, that's who you saw pictures of a moment ago. Judge Steve Meyer and his wife were shot in their home, allegedly connected to the case for Thomas Moss involving gangs, intimidation, and retaliation. Moss was due in Meyer's courtroom just 2 days after the shooting. There's the judge. Police allege Raylan Ferguson is the one that fired into the judge's home. Ferguson is listed as Moss's business partner and fellow Vice Lord gang member, according to police. Blake Smith allegedly bought the gun used in the shooting. Court records say the shooter knocked on the door of the home, then fired shots through the door as soon as he heard a voice. Our Rich Nye is in the courtroom right now, and we'll have the latest details on this case starting at 4. Also in the courtroom today, the 5th suspect charged in the death of a man burned alive in a car in Delaware County. Prosecutors are charging 43-year-old Tallis McCoy with murder, arson, kidnapping, criminal confinement, and obstruction of justice. And this comes after the death of 58-year-old Michael Greer. Investigators say Greer was beaten and shot at a home here in Indy and then taken up to Delaware County and burned alive in a car. 4 other suspects are facing multiple charges in this crime. We're expecting to learn updates from the courtroom later this afternoon. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett is appointing IMPD's first female police chief. That is 27-year veteran Tanya Terry. Terry is making history in our city, being appointed as permanent IMPD chief of police. She will be sworn in Monday. Most recently, Terry served as IMPD's deputy chief of operations for the last 2 years. Hogsett says Terry has been an essential leader in his life-saving gun violence reduction strategy. New this afternoon, Adam Krupp, the director of the Indiana Department of Child Services, is announcing his leave of absence. We confirmed the information, and we are learning that Jennifer Dorfmeyer will be stepping into Krupp's place. We have yet learned the reason behind Krupp's leave of absence. He was appointed to his position in January of last year by Governor Mike Braun. A bill allowing Indiana teachers to post the 10 Commandments in school is moving forward at the Indiana State House. Lawmakers on the House Education Committee heard the bill. And now our 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker breaks it all down.
Yeah, the bill saw a significant change today from its author, Republican State Representative Michelle Davis. Now, under the original bill, it would have been required for every Indiana school to display a copy of the 10 Commandments. Well, now after this change, it's optional. Here's what House Bill 1086 still does. It adds the 10 Commandments to a list of protected writings that already includes the U.S. and Indiana constitutions, along with the Declaration of Independence and other historic speeches and documents. Under the bill, teachers and principals are allowed to post or reference documents on that list. School libraries must include at least one copy of the 10 Commandments. Bottom line, though, instead of the bill being about mandatory religious displays, Tuesday's changes reframe the proposed legislation as one dealing with protected historical documents. Testimony included people for and against the bill.
Nobody who holds this document sacred is unfamiliar with it. They do not need to display it as a reminder of its content or its importance. Will putting "Thou shalt not kill" on the wall reduce school shooting tragedies? I don't think it will. At what age is it appropriate for a history teacher to explain to my daughter what lust and adultery are?
It is the rules that are found in the 10 Commandments that are the basis of our moral right and wrong. It is the basis of our legal system. Every law that you pass has its foundation somewhere in one of those 10 Commandments. So we need to have that up. We need to have it posted. We need to have the opportunity to speak in our public schools about the foundation of our society, the foundation of our legal system, the foundation of moral right and wrong.
The bill also includes protections for students. Students are allowed to reference the 10 Commandments in their schoolwork. And House Bill 1086 passed out of committee today by a vote of 8-3. The deadline for it to be considered and voted on by lawmakers in the House is Thursday if it's going to make it over to the Senate for consideration. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
All right, Emily, thank you. And there is a proposal right now in the State House to honor and remember a 5-year-old Indianapolis girl who starved to death. That bill is getting support from both sides of the aisle. Kinsley Welty was 5 years old when she died of starvation in April of 2024 while living with her mother. She was in foster care at least twice because of severe neglect, but was put back with her mom. Kinsley's father and grandfather are suing the Indiana Department of Child Services and several caseworkers, claiming cases were closed without checking on the little girl in person. House Bill 1036 would require DCS to see a child in person before closing an investigation into their well-being. Kinsley's grandfather wrote a letter to lawmakers in support of the bill. The bill passed unanimously out of committee. Several lawmakers signed on as co-authors. Now it has to be voted on by Thursday to move on to the Senate.